So yeah, I wanted to choose more of a comedy, and who better to choose the? This is directed by John Hughes.
Yeah.
He did the classic teen 80s movies.
Yeah.
Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Yep.
16 Candles. This is a little different than those.
A little.
It's actually quite a bit different.
A little bit.
Anyway, so this week we're going to discuss the 1985 movie.
I believe you are correct.
Is it 85?
Sorry, you can look that up, Nate. Weird Science. This movie has everything in it. It does.
To a fault.
It's funny.
Yeah. Okay.
It's got romance or
Sure.
love in it. There's some action when the Road Warriors show up at the end.
Oh yeah.
If you've never seen Weird Science, it's about basically it's about every teenage boy's dream.
Yeah.
Right? Making a girl.
Yeah.
So it's two geeks, nerds, whatever they were called in the 80s. And they are not popular. Nobody likes them. Girls don't like them.
Nope.
And they get bullied by Iron Man himself.
Yep.
Robert Downey Jr.
Well, no, just Robert Downey.
Robert Downey.
Point.
Right. It's actually his dad. It's not him.
Yeah.
So the opening of this movie is great, right? They're watching a girls' gym class.
Yeah.
This is so beautiful.
And in comes Robert Downey Jr. and his buddy, and they pull down their shorts and they yell out, check us out.
Yo, check us out.
These two guys decide that night, because they're watching Frankenstein on TV, and Gary, the one guy, that's Gary and Wyatt are their names, Gary, notices Wyatt has 80s computer technology.
Oh my God.
The best technology.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, and they're actually like, let's make an AI, right? That's
Yeah.
what they think they're going to do at first.
Yeah.
So they decide to start trying to
The
make a
original
girl.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was just gonna say
Because he even
Chick
says,
GPT.
we can play chess.
My favorite thing of 80s movies is 80s hacking montages.
Yes.
And
this is the perfect
it
example.
was just like, all right, they go
Iron
through
Eagle when they go into
tubes.
the military.
Yeah, we're gonna hack into the CIA. I'm gonna put my phone on
Yeah.
here, and then we're hacking into the
and then it
mainframe.
cuts to the guy at the
At the
everything's
mainframe,
on.
going like,
And all
no,
the computers
oh
are going.
no, we're being hacked. And there's announcements over the thing, and just like, the hell's going on there, Jim? And he's like, I don't know.
And like the graphics, right? They're like
Oh.
going into the computer.
Going
and
into
like,
tubes.
The green
E equals
digital
MC
graphics.
squared is turning around.
Yeah. then there's Skull and Crossbones because there's
the
firewalls.
danger. Yes, firewalls. Right. Forgot about that.
Your-
Sorry, when they make Lisa and all the computers, they hook up a little doll.
Yeah.
With I don't know where the wires are coming from.
The
but it's
computer,
a
the
little-
internet.
It's a Barbie
They're
doll that
internet
they hook
wires.
up, and they sit in there with bras on their heads. And Wyatt says the best line. He's like,
By the way, why are we wearing bras on our heads?
Ceremonial.
they hit enter, and it even goes crazy, right? There's lightning outside, and the computer's out
Yeah,
of
why
control.
was there lightning outside?
Because it's technology and Frankenstein's
magic.
monster.
There's magic in there too.
We don't
yeah?
ask why a lot.
No.
Because last week you're like, last week Nate's like, so this part didn't make any sense. We're like, this part didn't make any sense. She appears out of the bathroom like she should.
Yep.
Steven Seagal's wife. This is his wife.
Wow.
At the time, Kelly LeBrock. was
No
his time.
way.
Yeah,
Yep.
at the time was his wife. And they go to a bar, and the guys are dressed up. They get drunk, and then it gets really weird because Anthony Michael Hall, who plays Gary, starts doing this accent, or he's drunk and he's acting like an older man, and it's really weird.
Fast man. Let me tell you my story, man.
One of the funniest things is that always in the 80s when a guy said he had a girlfriend,
Yeah.
she always lived in Canada.
Yeah.
Because even he plays in Breakfast Club, the same character has
Yeah.
a girlfriend in Canada.
In Canada.
But when they get back to the house, this is when the best character comes in. And this is the late great Bill Paxton plays Wyatt's older brother Chet.
Hey, dickwad.
Just every scene he's in this movie, he steals the movie every scene.
How about a nice, greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray?
Yeah.
Moving along, they go to the mall because that's what you did in the 80s.
As you do.
You go to the
He
mall.
did in Stranger Things,
Yep.
Yep.
There was all that season.
which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a
the
mall.
inter-
Yeah, they go to the mall with Lisa, do some shopping. This great scene. Our two main protagonists, Gary and Wyatt, are sitting there talking, and they dump slushy on him. Now, there's so much slush.
There's like,
Like, It's a typical cup of slushy, and the bully dumps it on him.
And it just looks like they took an igloo.
Yeah, and it just like the
Doses
amount that
him.
falls on him is crazy. What typically happens in every 80s movie, teen movies too, is a house party.
Yep.
So she says, Wyatt and Gary are throwing a big house party tonight, which they don't even know about, and they invite everybody. So before we get to the party is actually one of my favorite scenes, and I don't know why they threw this in, but Gary maybe has to go home for something, and Lisa's like, I gotta go pick up Gary, and I'm gonna meet his parents. And so there's this whole scene where they're sitting with the parents, and she's an older woman, and the dad's like, you go to Gary's school?
As she's pouring a beer and smoking a cigarette.
Exactly. And so this conversation goes on, and she's like, oh yeah, we're going to, there's a party at Wyatt's tonight, and she's like, there's gonna be chips and dips, and it's gonna be a teenage
No.
Whips.
Chips, dipped,
Whips.
something in whips.
Yeah.
It was a great alliteration.
Yeah.
There's going to be sex, drugs, rock and roll, chips, dips, chains, whips.
So what happens is the dad goes to call the police on her, and she pulls a gun on the dad.
It's just like, this escalates quickly.
They leave, and Gary and Lisa are going back to the party, and this is hilarious. Gary's like, my parents are freaking out. They're going to freak out. And Lisa's like, they won't remember a thing. So she somehow wiped their memory.
Yeah.
But she wiped their memory so bad that the dad actually doesn't know who Gary is anymore.
Gary. Who's Gary?
The party, all kinds of people show up. They're trashing the place. But this is when she gets the idea, and this is where sort of there is more of a plot, where Lisa says, I got to give these two guys that have no confidence, I got to give them confidence in some way that they can show everybody in the school that they're, not as geeky as they are. So in her mind, she comes up with, I'm bringing the Road Warriors. Again, the original actor that was in the Road Warrior. These guys come in on motorbikes, tearing up the place. And there's a great scene where this guy's whipping around the bike, and he knocks a kid over, and the kid's got a beer, and the kid goes, this bud's for you.
Bud's for you.
So finally, Gary and Wyatt decide to stand up to these guys, and it's kind of like the climax scene. And Gary pulls the gun again, where he thinks it's a water gun, but it's actually real. He pulls the gun on these guys, and tells these guys like to get out. And this is also a really weird part. They decide, okay, yeah, we'll leave. Sorry for. They actually are really nice people.
Terribly sorry. Call me. We'll have lunch.
So Chet comes home the next morning, and the house is just in
From
shambles.
like duck hunting or
Yeah,
whatever.
he's got 2 ducks. He's got a shotgun. He walks in the house, and the place, it's not even just like, it's a
landfill.
Yeah. I mean, there's no
remember that part,
furniture in the living room. All the furniture is gone.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Chet.
What the hell is going on around here?
They finally have to tell him, like, okay, we made this girl. You have to deal with her.
Yeah.
And so he goes down to deal with her, and the guys go take their girlfriends home, and she turns him into, I don't know if you remember this or not, she turns Chet into, at first I thought it was a toad.
Yeah, no, it's
a big
the boss from Conker's Bad Fur Day, the giant mighty poo.
Yeah, he looks like a big piece of poo, basically.
Yeah.
Quit screwing around. This isn't funny.
Huh, okay.
And he can talk too.
Yeah.
And eat flies with his tongue.
I don't remember that part now.
Yeah. So they come home, and Chet apologizes because he's this big turd, and they make up, and literally, and she turns the house back to normal just as the parents are coming home. So everything goes
Mary
back.
Poppins everything back.
Yeah, everything goes back to normal, and then they got to say goodbye to Lisa. So this is like the heart wrenching moment.
Yep.
Because they made this girl, and she helped them out, and now they got to say goodbye to her. So she leaves.
This show did not age
technology was
well.
better.
Yeah,
No.
The movie
It's just the child grooming and the underage. Like when they're in the mall and she's picking out underwear, and
Yes.
she's clearly in her 30s.
Yeah.
And she
And
goes
there's
like,
the saleswoman is like in her 80s.
yeah, and she's like, would a 15-year-old boy be turned on by this? And I'm like, yeah. And there's just like, you did a wonderful job of recapping this movie and missing all the like
Yes, the
pedophilic
awkward
jokes
parts.
and comments
That
that
was
are
by
just
design.
like peppered in this thing.
There's a lot. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. But when I watched it in the 80s, I loved it.
Yes,
and everything, even him getting drunk and being there.
Oh yeah,
It was
no,
hilarious.
Yeah.
But this is every boy's dream at that age,
Yes.
For sure. For
Yes.
sure it is.
including mine.
Yeah.
When you watch Breakfast Club or Ferris Bueller's Day Off or 16 Candles, like those are, I would argue, timeless. Like
Yeah.
even Ferris Bueller's Day Off, like a kid could watch that now and it's still like they understand all the points. There's no like problems where it's just like, oh, why don't we just do that? It's like, I don't want to go to school. I had the best day. My dad almost caught me. His Cameron's dad's an asshole and he crashed his car.
Yeah.
Like that's the premise.
Yeah.
But like this,
You know what it is? And you said this last week. And I think I used to watch this movie when I got home from a party or a bar. And I'm just like, you know what? I need to eat something. And I need to watch something really stupid.
Yeah.
Weird Science. I'm watching
that's
it.
fair.
That's what it was.
Okay, fair enough. I think
Anyways.
it's one of those movies that you put on and you're not super engaged. It's just
no.
Yeah. I think when I first started watching it, I would have given it like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
it's
no,
down.
if I'm 15, this is a 10 out of 10.
this is 12 out of
in
10.
the 80s. I don't even know if a 15-year-old now
like,
would be
this
like.
is me going to my room going, oh, yeah.
Well, that's a different.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
I'm
there's-
knocking on the door. Dinner time. I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more updates.
He's our 16-year-old boy.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Lucy, and I want you to shut up.